The psychology that keeps you broke. Most people think being broke is about money, not earning enough, not saving enough, not knowing enough. But if that were true, then every raise bonus or better job would fix the problem. And yet, for a lot of people, it doesn't. They make more money and somehow feel just as stressed, just as behind, just as confused about where it all goes. So, let me ask you something, honestly. Have you ever looked at your income and thought, I should be doing better than this? If you have, this video is for you. Because the real reason many people stay broke has very little to do with numbers and everything to do with psychology. Being broke can become familiar. Here's something uncomfortable but important. The human brain values familiarity more than improvement, even when that familiarity is painful. For a lot of people, financial stress is normal. They grew up around it. They watched their parents argue about money. They learned how to survive paycheck to paycheck. So adulthood becomes a continuation of that pattern. Bills, stress, relief when payday hits, then stress again. It's not that people enjoy being broke. It's that their nervous system knows how to function there. Wealth feels unfamiliar, unstable, almost suspicious. Let me ask you this. If your finances suddenly became calm and predictable, would part of you feel uncomfortable? That question matters more than most people realize. Spending is often emotional, not logical. Most people don't overspend because they're irresponsible. They overspend because spending regulates emotion. Think about it. After a long week, buying something feels like relief. After stress, it feels like control. After boredom, it feels like stimulation. And over time, the brain learns a pattern. Money equals emotional relief. So when someone tries to save, budget, or delay gratification, it doesn't feel neutral. It feels like punishment, and that's why discipline feels so hard. Let me ask you something, and be honest. When you spend impulsively, what emotion are you actually trying to change? Stress, boredom, feeling behind, feeling unappreciated? Once you see that pattern, money decisions stop feeling random. Scarcity thinking shrinks the mind. Scarcity does more than limit money. It limits thinking. When someone feels financially behind, their brain narrows focus. They think in days, not years. They chase relief, not strategy. They avoid planning because planning reminds them of fear. This is why people under financial stress often avoid looking at their accounts, delay making decisions, jump at quick wins, and ignore long-term consequences. It's not stupidity, it's survival mode. But here's the dangerous part. Many people stay in scarcity thinking, even after their situation improves. Their income increases, but their mindset doesn't. So let me ask you, are you still making money decisions as if you're trying to survive, even if you're no longer in danger? Identity is stronger than goals. People don't live up to their goals. They live up to their identity. If someone sees themselves as bad with money, someone who struggles financially, someone who never gets ahead, their actions will quietly prove that story right. They won't save consistently. They'll justify small leaks. They'll sabotage progress without realizing it, not because they want to fail, but because the brain avoids identity conflict. Ask yourself this: what story do you tell yourself about money? And how often do your choices protect that story? Avoidance feels safe, but costs everything. One of the most common broke behaviors is financial avoidance. Not opening bank apps, not checking balances, not tracking spending, not thinking long-term. Avoidance protects emotions in the short term, but it quietly destroys trust with yourself. Because every time you avoid your finances, you reinforce the idea that money is something you can't handle. Let me ask you this: what financial reality are you avoiding right now? Awareness is uncomfortable, but avoidance is expensive. Urgency masquerades as motivation. Here's a subtle trap. Urgency feels productive. When people feel behind, they rush. They chase fast money. They jump into things they don't understand. They abandon boring strategies for exciting ones. But urgency is usually fear, pretending to be motivation. Wealth requires calm thinking. and calm feels irresponsible to someone who feels late. So ask yourself, do you confuse speed with progress? Because most wealth is built slowly, by people who can tolerate patience. Why more money doesn't fix the problem. This is the part most people don't want to hear. If your psychology stays the same, more money won't save you. It will just amplify what's already there. More emotional spending, more avoidance, more stress at a higher level. That's why some people earn more every year and still feel broke. Wealth isn't created by income alone. It's created when money stops being emotional and starts becoming intentional. If you've stayed with me this far, ask yourself this honestly. What financial behaviors in your life are actually emotional coping mechanisms? Because the moment you stop using money to manage emotions, you gain the ability to manage money strategically. And that shift doesn't just change your finances, it changes how you see yourself. That's where real progress begins.